it was just amazing to be there at that time and hearing When Doves Cry for the first time, and being able to dance to that. And I can't understand that, baby. I can't understand that.
Today is Monday, April 7th, 2025. Who are we speaking with?
This is Mia Phillips, The Remedy.
So who is Mia Phillips and what is the remedy?
Okay. Mia Phillips is a woman who grew up in New York City in the clubs, dancing predominantly. The Remedy came about quite a while ago. I came up with the name to call myself if I decide to play out or um, do music more than just playing at home, which is mostly all that I did. Um, and then one day, since I'm a nurse, I also felt like the Remedy was also a good name for what I do, and I also feel that music heals everything. So that's where the Remedy comes from. And as time went on, people would start to ask me to play out, and I play mostly for hobby. I don't play to make money. I don't play to get a name or whatever. I just play because I feel like there's a lot of music out there that doesn't get played in clubs and should be heard.
Thank you for that. Let's talk about balance. How do you balance a day job being a nurse with being a DJ?
I, at this point, knowing in advance when I have a gig and how long that gig is and all that it's going to take to physically be there or physically stay up for however many hours, I can plan mentally in advance, and it's nothing for me. I just have the one child who's 16 now, so that doesn't take away much time for me, and so he can be left home alone, even though my husband will stay home or come out to the club when I'm playing. And it's just I've been going to the clubs dancing so much. When I go out to play, that's just a substitute for dancing in a sense. So, and I still go out dancing.
What's been your family's reaction, your husband and your son's reaction to your DJ career?
Well, my son could care less. He's just living his own life right now. My husband's very proud of me, very excited. In the beginning, when we first started dating, he used to feel nervous for me because at the time, of course, I was playing vinyl and my mixes weren't very good, but the music I played was. So, I just had to really just focus on fading in and out, not really trying to mix. And then once I got into CDs, then, mixing became easy, well, to me, somewhat easier. But I still didn't have it right. So we would go out and I'm playing and he's always nervous that, oh my goodness, is she going to mess up? She's going to have a train wreck. But as of late, he enjoys it. He comes out, he dances. And if I'm playing with someone else or there's another DJ playing, I always come to the party, excuse me, whether or not there's 5 DJs or two. I get there at the beginning and I will stay there and hear every DJ play. And when I'm not playing, I'm dancing. Yeah.
Sorry, I was on mute. I said love that.
Mm.
Describe your DJ style.
I always call it eclectic. I don't necessarily play house music, and I would not say that anything I do is house. Even though there are some house tunes I will play because I like dancing to them or I like them just listening to them. But mostly I play like the B-sides, um, music that not necessarily that no one else would play, but I find music in all kinds of places. Whereas when I go out, I'm not hearing this music being played, and it's really good to me. And I find that as I've been playing, people like what I bring. So I'll play if I'm out in the store and I hear something overhead, I'll Shazam it and then I'll take it from there. Who's this artist? What's similar to this? And I'll find more music. People send me music, of course. If I'm watching a show, there might be music in a series that's being played, and I'll Shazam that, and then I'll take it away and do more research. If I'm looking for a particular song, like on TrackSource or iTunes, You get that whole list. Sometimes I'll go down the list to see if there's something else down on that list that might be good enough to play. So, but it's never going to be the top 40 or not even the top 40 in underground dance or in club music. That's rare.
Talk to me about DJ sets. How do you think about, or do you prepare for DJ sets? And if so, what's your process?
Okay, so now, because it changes, to me, it changes with technology. So, whereas when it was vinyl, you bring your records, you already have an idea what you want to play, or maybe I would put them in the order that I thought I might want to play that night. And, I get there, I don't have a preconceived idea of mixes or sets. I just play as the night's going on and what I feel and what the people are giving me. So I just feed off the crowd and, I check out what's going on. I do it with that. With CDs, it became more, how can I say? Um, my preparation kind of changed. So I didn't actually have like an idea, still not an idea what I'm going to play. But I would just think about the party. So if it was like an outdoor park party, I would make a list of all the songs that I think would be appropriate for that environment to play. And I would just, as I'm playing, look at the list just to make sure I didn't miss something. I put a star by something like that I felt like I definitely should play. Again, no particular order, just making sure I didn't miss anything. But then I'm also checking out my library to see if there's anything else in there, just going back and forth. So now with flash drives, this has become, for me, I now have a list. And I not only do the list, and I know you can look at RPMs by right there on the set that you on the CDJs, but I will write down the songs, what playlist it's in, the RPMs, and then I will again, no particular order. It's not a mix. It's not pre-made. I will just go through as I'm playing and feeling what people are giving me, what I'm feeling, what the whole environment's doing, and I'll just play from that. So yeah, never any preconceived. I don't have any like preconceived mixes at all. Yeah.
Who's your favorite DJ, and or who do you like to go check out
Jeez.
playing?
I don't want to leave anybody out, but I am going to start off with Joaquin Clausel. He's a favorite of mine, mostly because there was a time when he did a party in the city called Sacred Rhythm. He did at a club called Love, and he just played like amazing music that you would never hear anywhere. And the party was never packed because a lot of people just didn't get it. Some people would come and they would hear it, and I guess it just wasn't for them. But it was just always a nice vibe and environment. And he also gave me the opportunity to open for him sometimes. Or if he wasn't going to make it back from out of town in time, he would call me to play. So that was like a huge honor. But even before doing all that, he was one of my favorites. Um, who else do I like to hear? Vic Lavender, definitely. And I do love Ron Trent. Who else? Oh, goodness. There's so many. And probably some of you don't know. Snow, who is my partner now, we do a monthly party. Um, I guess he, like me, we just started playing out because I met him years ago and we used to dance in the clubs. So I know him from dancing at the shelter. So now here we are, however many years later, and we're both playing music together, whereas we were just the dance kids. Um, so there's Snow. I like to listen to his mixes. He's got a lot on Mixcloud. Who else is there? I probably should have made a list. I don't want to leave anyone out. But then there's a lot of people that only play vinyl that I like. So there's Chris Flowers, um, Mr. X, Alvaro Jimenez, and that's all I can think of right now. But yeah, so there's a lot of people out there just playing vinyl that I love. Caesar, um, Lady V, Renita. I could go on.
Talk to me about common mistakes. What common mistakes do you see DJs make?
Not reading the crowd. That's the main one. Not reading the crowd. The second one is not caring, playing like they don't care. And as a dancer, to me, that's obvious. Um, and I feel like some DJs don't play for people that dance. So it's one thing to play at a party where people just gonna stand around with their phones and videotape you, maybe do a two-step with a drink in their hand. But then it's another thing to play for a party where people actually came to dance. And sometimes they do stuff with the music that, you know, that you're dancing and they'll just cut a song, or they'll just mess with the highs and the lows, or echo something or repeat something. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm trying to dance here. You know, you're just messing up the flow of movement. Um, some people, they're just there to show off. And just so you know, I call that a bobbit. If you cut a song off, it's a bobbit. um, I've seen, yeah, pretty much. I think that's it. Oh, also coming in with preconceived idea of what you're going to play in your playlist. I met one young woman. She actually did her whole mix in advance, and then and she played that exact mix when she went out to play. So I'm like, well, how could you do that? What if something changes or the vibe or whatever? Don't you, you got to be able to pivot. So that's another thing. Some DJs just can't pivot. Something's not working, but they want to stay on that same track. Um, and for me as a dancer, not even as a DJ, as a dancer, I can no longer take the boom, 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 boom all night. It's got to change up. It's got to slow down. It's got to speed up. It can't be that same 125 all night. So that's what I find.
Describe the feeling when you're DJing and you have the crowd in the palm of your hands.
Yeah. That's a great feeling. It really is. And just to watch people just, okay, and I keep going back to dancing because that's where it all comes from for me. To see people dancing and feeling the music, like I know I feel the music, that is like the most incredible thing. And I will just stand up there and stare and watch these people dance. It just brings a great smile to my face and a good feeling in my heart. And I'm standing up there, I'm like, they get it. They get it. So, and even if it's only 5 people dancing, I was like, this is for them. They get it.
Let's talk about dancing. Is there a
Mhm.
proper way to dance to house music?
Nope, you're supposed to do whatever you feel, however you feel it, wear whatever you want, however you wear it, and just be free. That back in the day, when I was young, there would be dances, like there was the Wevo, and then there was a garage dance, and if there were dances after that, I wouldn't know. But there's no particular, you do what you feel. Yeah, because people would come to me and ask me to show them how to dance. And I'm like, I can't show you because I don't have, again, a preconceived idea of what I'm doing. I do what I do in the moment. If I feel to jump here and then run over there and spin on the floor, then that's what I'm doing. So there's no method. I have nothing to teach.
Describe your relationship with music.
Oh, uh, music is my life, you know? I grew up, my father played the trumpet, my oldest brother played the trumpet. There was always music in the house. So my oldest sibling is 18 years older than me. So I kind of grew up on their music. So music from the late 60s and 70s, just listening to that, having it in the house the whole time. Back then, we didn't have a lot of money, so I couldn't buy records. So what I used to do was keep you go to the store and you get the top 40 list. So I saved a lot of those because I said one day when I start working, I'm going to go back and get all this music. And I did. But not only that, I also recalled a lot of the album covers that we had in our house. So I was able to find that music. Um, but it's just something I always did. I even have, like in high school, when I was taking pottery, I made a DJ council little box with 2 turntables on the top. So it was something that I've just always been doing, always either listening to music, dancing to it, or playing it. So it's all in me. Oh, the other thing too is I will dance to anything. I will move to anything. I will dance to a commercial if the jingle's good. I will tap my feet to anything I hear. I'm in a car. I tell people when you're driving with me, and if I'm dancing, you have the car dance with me. It's just continuous.
Let's start from the beginning. Where were you born and where'd you grow up?
Oh, born and raised in Staten Island, New York. Um, Pretty much there most of my life, and then in and out of Brooklyn a few times. Currently, I reside out in Freeport, Long Island.
And what kind of music did you hear around the house growing up?
Everything gospel, jazz, R&B. But I myself listened to, it was at the time WABC radio, classic rock. Well, now it's called classic rock, but at the time it was just called rock. So I thoroughly enjoy rock and roll music, especially from the 70s. I know a lot of it. I know the words. I can sing it. I can dance to it. I'll play some of it in the club sometimes, but yeah. So pretty much the whole gambit of music I listen to. And as I became older, I'm sorry, as I became older, started to listen to more world music. So I have music from all over the world, all different languages, um, everything. Do you remember I may not pronounce it wrong, Putumayo series of,
Yes, yeah.
yeah. So I have a lot of that. I have a lot of that. And it's like every language you could imagine is in that whole collection. So yeah, a lot of great music.
Do you remember the first record you bought?
Not at all. I couldn't even tell you. Knowing myself, I probably went to a thrift shop or flea market and just brought a bunch of vinyl at one time.
What was the first piece of music that really resonated with you?
Hmm. Okay, it's a cross between am I pronouncing it right? Simadin? Simande. Simande, yeah. Um, and Stevie Wonder, because I don't want to date myself, but anyway, we had that music at home, and my sister and I, we would just play those albums over and over and over again. I mean, it's like, not like elementary school kids listening to Simande and, whatever else was out there. When I was in, I think it was junior high school, the Quincy Jones album with, oh goodness, the Quincy Jones album. We
Use
did it.
use juke joint?
What's that?
Use juke joint?
No, no, the one with he has all the different artists, and I know Carita is on it. Um, and all this to say that I can't remember the title of the album, but in the 12th grade, a girlfriend and I, not even the 12th grade, we were in elementary school, not elementary, middle school, and we did a dance to like I Know Carita and Gil Scott Heron's What is Jazz? No, Is That Jazz? So even from a young age, just listening to like other music that nobody else was really paying attention to.
How did your family's diverse musical taste shape your interest?
Um, it just let me see that you can be open to anything and it's okay to listen to anything. I mean, at the time when I was listening to rock and roll, of course, my friends would call me white girl, but I didn't care because it was good music. So, and I know I'm not white, so what are you doing? You're not hurting me. So yeah, it's just gave me, the ability to be open.
Um, what was it about classic rock that drew you in, despite being different from what your family listened to?
Um, the lyrics, the rhythm, the melody, the instrumentation. I sometimes, when I listen to certain rock and roll music, even jazz, I wish I played an instrument because I'm listening to it and I think about the artist actually playing that instrument and how it must feel to make such beautiful music, or like certain rhythms or certain melodies. I'm like, oh my God, it must be incredible to be in your head and just to put this music out there like that. Um, Maybe later in life I'll pick up an instrument, but yeah, wanting to play, making me feel like I want to play an instrument, listening to music. And when I listen to that music too, rock and roll, I'll listen to a record several times. So like maybe one time I'll listen and I'm only hearing the guitar, and the next time it's the keyboards. And if it has a trumpet, the next time I'm going through, I'm just listening for the trumpet. So sometimes I like to dissect music like that and listen to it that way.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about clubs.
Yes.
Tell us a story about the first time you went to the Paradise Garage. What did you see? What did you hear? What did you smell? What did you experience? Who brought you there?
Oh gosh. Okay. So somehow my girlfriend and I guess it was signed up for membership. So we were able to go and get membership. So I went with a girlfriend. So she didn't actually bring me, but we finally got membership to go ourselves. Um, the first thing that everyone would tell you, they called it the ramp. So the ramp was what you had to walk up to, a wait in line so you can get up to the door to pay. And it's a dark hall and it's huge, and you hear the music pumping, and you're like, oh my God, I just want to get in here and see what it's like. Go inside, open hallway. There's two bathrooms, or there's a bathroom in the changing room or something like that. And it was anything goes, guys and girls, whatever. You go whichever way you wanted to go to the bathroom, or get changed. You step into a little ante room before you step into the main dance floor. And actually, as soon as you pay and you walk in, it's just like, oh my God, this is incredible. Main dance floor, huge. Larry's all the way up there. And back then, at least for me, it wasn't so much about the DJ as it was about being someplace dark with flashing lights and loud music. So I didn't care who was up there, as long as it was dark, there was flashing lights and loud music. Um, and then, seeing that there's a movie theater, and then the roof you can go up and cool out on. And the punch, everyone knows don't drink the punch unless you want an altered state of mind. Um, and then there was I called it, some people call it the crystal room, I call it the cool out room, where you can just go, relax and lounge around. And just the people were amazing. I met so many people there. um, some friendships I still have to this day from there. The very first young lady I met there, we were still great friends until today. um, and that was just amazing. But even before the garage, for me, I went to a club called the Phoenix, and this is what got me locked in to going out dancing. Um, and I don't even think I was in college at the time, but my girlfriend invited me to go to this club. I walk in, and there's this beautiful Latina sister dancing, white t-shirt. She's got on the baggy army pants, the white skips, and that was the style at the time. And she's dancing with her brother, and they're playing "Don't Make Me Wait." And I was watching them, and it was the most beautiful thing I ever saw, them dancing together and just flowing. And right then and there, I was like, that's what I want. I want to feel what she's feeling right now. And then that was it. I was hooked. And I always tell people, it's like, that's why I didn't become a doctor, because I knew I wouldn't be dedicated enough, because I always wanted to go to the club.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, do you have a memorable night from the garage
There are many. Um,
or performance, either or?
yeah. Well, one night, I think that Larry was playing, oh goodness, I forget the song he was playing. It'll come to my head. He would do a laser light show to it. Something about a mad professor or something like that song he would play. It was kind of like, not even rock, it was more um like a Devo-ish sort of song that he would play. And so he's playing this, is the light show, and then all of a sudden what comes up is The Exorcist. And right in the moment, the music's playing, and he shows right when she turns her head or all the way around with the music. Now, mind you, I had never saw the whole Exorcist because I could not get through it. But here you are on the dance floor, and you're dancing, you're having a great time, and you turn around, you look up at the screen, and there is the Exorcist, and her head's turned around. So that's like one of the most one of the moments that really sticks out in my head. Another time, real quick, is the song Star Child by Level 42. Larry must have played that song probably 10 times throughout the night. So, what he would do if he really wants you to get something, he would play it and then he'd go play all this other music, bring it back in. And he do that all throughout the night. By the time I went home, I was singing that song and just loving it. So, to this day, Star Child is one of my favorite songs. And it was just such a good feeling. And then being up on the roof when the sun's coming up and hearing that play, it was just all, you can't plan it. You can't plan it.
Tell us a story about the shelter and tell people what the shelter is.
Oh boy. The shelter, um, I could tell you so many stories. Okay.
Tell us multiple. Tell us
I
multiple.
would tell you
As,
multiple.
as many as you got. Let's go. I got unlimited hard drive space. Let's go.
Okay. So when I first heard about the shelter, I was actually at another party called the Bourgeois. And I think it might have been Kim Lightfoot or oh goodness, Martin. I don't know why people's names are escaping me. But so we were at this Abuza party, and I never forget Little Ray coming in and telling us, "Oh, there's this club and blah blah blah, and it's $25 to get in." And we were like, "I'm not paying $25 to get into a club." That's how long ago this was. And then we talked about it. We talked about it, and it that was the first week it was open. And we talked about it. He's like, we're gonna go to this club and check it out, right? Because we would go to any club to see what it was about. So we went the next week, which was the second week of the shelter, and it that blew my mind. That was it. So that was every single whenever the shelter was having a party, you were there no matter what the time. Um, a huge dance floor, wood. The DJ booth got moved a couple of times, several times throughout the process, but that was also where you could go and just feel free. There was one young lady, Denise, I'll never forget her, God bless her. She would get on the floor like towards the morning, just roll back and forth, and you would just step aside and let her. And then there was Superman, Roy, who would always wear a Superman t-shirt. And then Timmy at some point would start playing Superman, of course not the coffee version, but he would play Superman and everybody would just step back and Roy would just dance back and forth. Um, then there were times when we would, depending on what the song was, and they used to do this at the garage too, a whole group of people would just do the 8 count step, one direction, turn around, 8 count, step back, doing whatever you feel. Some people rolling, some people turning, some people just two-stepping, but just seeing a whole group of people just flowing with the music back and forth. Um, we got to the point where I started bringing Timmy music because one of the reasons why I play is because there's music I want to dance to. So if I'm going to dance to it, someone has to play it. So I'm like, well, if I start bringing music to these DJs, maybe they'll start playing it and I can dance to it. So he actually started playing some of the music. It was mostly jazz though. And so he would play it late in the morning. And it got to the point where if I showed up at the club, he would send Freddie out and ask me if I had a list. So yeah, if I had a list for the night. So yeah, or I would bring him CDs or records or whatever, but always brought him music to play something other. So that was a nice, somewhat collaboration we had at the time. But then the shelter moved to, and the shelter changed with the hours. We would have like a day party where the party started at 9 o'clock in the morning and went into 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like on a Sunday or something. Of course, first it started out overnight. I think it was a Friday night or Saturday night the club went. And then when it moved to 39th Street, that was a whole different vibe. Um, and I think Timmy started inviting more DJs to come in and play there. And it was a smaller space, but still it was pretty nice. And he started doing parties at Central Park Summer Stage. So once a year in the summer, he would have a party there. He'd have a band open, and after that party, the after party would be back at the shelter after the Central Park, and he would let me play on the roof. So I'd play on the roof, and he'd be on the main dance floor. So one summer, I'm supposed to be playing with Rich Medina. Rich comes up there, and if that man played 2 hours, that's all he played, and then he was out. And this was like a 10-hour party or something like that. So I was left up there most of the time to play. I'm like, Rich, come on, get back on. No, you got it, you got it. So, and that was me just playing the whole roof the whole time. I don't even think I'd ever played for that long of a period before. But oh my goodness, I I probably could go on if I could remember something else. The other thing about that it being there was Gay Pride Parade. So we on 39th Street, they were right at Fifth Avenue. So whenever it was Gay Pride, we could just walk right out the club, and there was a parade going by, and we would go. And there's more dancing, more music throughout the day. So the party didn't end there.
What's something people will be surprised to learn about Timmy, or what's the biggest misconception about Timmy Register?
Hmm. Yeah, I guess people don't think that he's nice because of his demeanor, meaning that I guess I'm gonna guess that maybe he's kind of shy because some people go up and they say hi to him and he'll just be like he won't say much. um and I don't know what it is exactly why he doesn't open up to his not constituents, to the people that come to his parties. He's not like, outgoing or anything like that. And that's his own thing. And that's the way he's always been. But if you're able to get to know him personally, he is a pretty nice person, but I don't know, maybe it's from having been, out there for so long, and people constantly coming up to you and wanting to talk to you, and you don't know them, and sometimes that could be a little off-putting if people are calling out your name and you don't know them. But then I guess that's the price you pay for fame. Give me a fortune, not the fame. I'll take the money.
Besides the Paradise Garage and the shelter, are there any other? Oh, tell us a story about the Tea Party in Brooklyn.
Oh boy, wasn't that fun? Oh my
That
gosh.
was that was that was for me a golden era of Brooklyn. Was it the I think the YWCA
Yes.
Sundays?
Yes,
That
yes.
was a vibe.
Wow. Yeah, we really had it going on. And it was a lot of work, but it was a labor of love because I'm telling you, every we did it every Sunday for 6 years. So first we were at Frank's Lounge, and then we went to the Y. And we had at the Y, we actually had to bring down all of our equipment from a storage area. We had all those big speakers and everything. We had to set up everything from scratch. We had to hang those panels, the whole bit, just like work, work, work. But it was definitely worth it. And it was just enjoyable being that all the different acts that we would have, the features, like the different performers or poets, uh, the fashion shows, if we had that at all. When we had the Shango dance, and Ian would be playing DJing. So we have the Shango dance. He's playing music, and he'd have a band there. And as he's playing the music, the band would just start playing. So it was almost kind of a mix from him DJing into the band, and then he would pull out, and now you just have the band playing. So to me, that was like, just an incredible transition at any point. Um, after the way the tea party went was, in the beginning we had the open mic, and then we would feature a band, uh, you could be a fashion artist or visual artist, whatever. You could talk about your read from excerpts from a book you might have written, and then we have at the end we call it tea for three. So for $3, you can come in and dance for 3 hours from 11 to 2. Is that 3 hours? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
You could come in and dance from 11 to 2. So, and then that was good. And we would just all go crazy until, it was time to be out of there. But yeah, so it was 6 years. But I will tell you this though, at this point, unless I cannot take poetry. I feel like I've heard every poet that there's ever going to be, or the method of speaking or the different languages, unless it's a poet telling the story, that I could listen to. But someone just reciting, like, oh, and I do this, and then this is what happens to me, and then, third eye or whatever that stuff is. I'm like, I can't anymore. But yeah. So there are songs out there that have poetry in them, and I like the music, but I don't want the poetry. So I look for the instrumental versions.
Feel you on that. Um, were there any other clubs that are memorable or had influence on the era? Like things that come to mind initially are places like Zanzibar or the Loft that were like part of your going out circle at the time.
Well, you know what? At the time, I would go to every club, even if I only went once, just to check it out. So yeah, but one club I did frequent was Zanzibar's. Zanzibar's became an every Wednesday night party.
Oh, let's paint the picture. People don't talk about Zanzibar very much.
Really?
So let's paint the picture of Zanzibar. Tell people what it was, where it was, what night, the vibe, who was DJing, what were people wearing, the dancing, the sound system. Paint the picture for Zanzibar.
Okay, so Zanzibar was in Newark, New Jersey. It was in the a club of a hotel called the Lincoln Hotel and or Motel, and you could in the beginning it was very seedy. So if you drove there, your car may not have everything in it when you came out. So you just went there knowing that. So you just didn't leave anything valuable in your car. And I think that night, those were Friday nights in the beginning, and it was always packed. And Jersey heads that's a whole different vibe altogether in New Jersey. But they were welcoming, it was fun. What we did start to find over time is that the guys, boy, aggressive like crazy. So me and my friends, we would pretend like we were gay for each other, and that did not matter at all, at all. So, but it went both ways too. So sometimes you go into the bathrooms and the girls are rolling up on you. So it's like, whatever, you can win for losing. But it was just a great time. It was, I can't, it was dark, the music was great, and like I said, the people were kind and welcoming. So it was always a good time. And one Zanzibar's night that just stands in my head was the first night I heard When Doves Cry, and I Can't Understand That. Um, and it was just amazing to be there at that time and hearing When Doves Cry for the first time, and being able to dance to that. And I can't understand that, baby. I can't understand that.
Who was the DJ when you went to Zanzibar?
It was Tony Humphries.
Tony Humphries, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go. Let's talk about the transition. What inspired you to transition from being a dancer to being a DJ? And what inspired that, and when did that happen?
Oh, um, I think someone asked me to play to play out. Um, and actually, the first time I played out was a gazillion years ago. I don't know if you remember Basil, Brother Basil, Mansky, and Hector. Hector used to do a party on Broadway called Love Saves the Day, because he hailed out of the loft. And Francois would play in one room, and then Mansky and Basil were playing in another room. So Basil and I were friends, and I would have people over the house. I play music for them. So Basil's like, won't you come out and play some CDs? I'm like, oh, okay. So I just brought some CDs and played, and they enjoyed it. But I wasn't serious about it because I was more into dancing. And at the time too, it seemed like if you were going to DJ in New York, first of all, you were male, and second of all, more than likely you were gay. And then it started to transition out of that as like people like Basil and Mansky and Timmy started playing out. It's like, oh, okay, so you don't have to be gay to be a good DJ in New York anymore. Um, and then after that, just like people playing every now and again. I did have a residency some time ago at a place called Guernica. It was in the Lower East Side, and I cannot remember the name of the party, but I played with Reborn and another sister. It was the three of us. So I did that party for about 3 years. That was like every Wednesday night or something. And just moving on, just here and there, people asked me to play out. Um, and all, up to now, recently, Snowy asked me to play with him for his party. So we're in our 8th month of doing a monthly party called Lights Out Sessions in Brooklyn. And I'm loving it because we get to play what we want to play. We are not playing the 125 all night long. Very little house music. It's mostly just like eclectic sort of stuff that you just never heard. More than likely never heard it. Every now and again, I'll throw something in that people know, but other than that, it's always a new experience.
Um, you just answered my next question because I was going to ask you about your residency. So perfect
Uh,
for one. Um, what motivates your decision to not promote yourself aggressively in the DJ world?
because I feel like if it becomes work, I won't want to do it. Yeah. So I just want to play music. I don't want to feel like, and I think if it becomes work, then you're more beholden to give people what they want rather than being collaborative. Okay, I know what you want, but how about this? I don't want to have to play, a song because it's popular and that's what everyone wants to hear.
Very fair.
So if people ask me to play, my first question to them is, have you heard me play? Are you sure you want me to play? And then I'll send them mixes or whatever. And I was like, get back to me and let me know. And if they come back with no, I'm like, I get it.
How do you maintain the joy of playing music without letting it becoming a chore?
Um, for me, it's not playing all the time. It's not playing every week. Like people always tell me, why don't you put mixes on Mixcloud or SoundCloud? I'm like, well, I'll do it every now and again. I actually haven't done it in years. I put up some on SoundCloud maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and I haven't done it since. Um, and then sometimes I think that if you're out there too much, then people get used to you and they expect something from you. Whereas if you're only hearing me every now and again, you never know what you're gonna get. And maybe it's also a mystery. Oh, let me go see what Mia's doing because I haven't heard Mia play and I heard she's playing like this and that. And it might get people, curious to come out.
I like that strategy. Clever.
And I'm lazy.
Um, how do you use music as a form of personal therapy or stress relief?
Oh my gosh, let me tell you. Living in New York City and driving, right? I actually play classical music in the car when I'm driving because music calms the savage beast. It keeps me from going into road rage. So when I'm out there, either I play nothing, I keep it completely silent, or I play classical music.
I love that.
Yeah.
Um, How do you think historical parties like those at the Paradise Garage can be remembered or celebrated today?
Oh gosh. I don't, mm, how can I say this?
Say it, say it.
I don't think they should be remembered in the way that they were because they can't. People say to me, you know, me, oh, you didn't come out to this party, you missed this party. I was like, I didn't miss this party. I said, I went to the most incredible parties that will never be replicated again. So now with these parties, I'm not missing anything. I've already been there. I've seen the best of what it could be. You know, they do have a Paradise reunion party. They have the Loft reunion party, which of course are nothing like the original parties. The Loft party, the crowd is nothing like the people that used to go to the Loft party at all. It's a whole yuppie crowd, it seems, that goes. They're not yuppie in that sense, but you know, maybe more like, I don't know, grunge or whatever sort of people go. But yeah, it's not us that used to be at the Loft. The garage party is just like a huge hoop-de-doo. The music that they play to me, they play the same stuff every year. And I'm like, there was so much more music that was played at the garage that they don't even touch on. And I'm like, this is just, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know. But I still go. I still go. But what bothers me is, you know, hearing music that I'm like, I can play that at home. I hear all that at home. Play something I know I don't have, you know? Yeah, but it is what it is.
Why do you think that all female DJ sets are sometimes highlighted differently than all male sets?
Hate female sets. I hate female sets. I don't understand it. I don't know why there has to be, I guess, except if you want to celebrate a Woman's Month or Mother's Day, maybe. But any other time, I'm like, why? Why does it have to be an all woman set? I just want to give you a story because I played at Mikasa Holiday and in Tulum, in not in Tulum, in where Playa del Carmen. And I remember speaking with Julius about getting on. And I told him, I said, I want to play in Tulum. I want to play on the beach. But you know, they also have a set called It's Her Turn, where it's all female DJs. And I told him, I said, I don't want to play on an all female set. We spoke for 2 hours and I want to play It's Her Turn. And it's okay. I did that. But this last year, when they were in Cuba, he invited me to play, and I actually played on the beach. So things are changing to give women more opportunities. But yeah, I don't know why they have these all women sets or why the way they put them out there is so much different. It just, every time I see that, I just cringe. You saw my face. Um, and then recently, I actually just did an all DJ set, and the person that was putting it together gave a bunch of names. It was something like ladies this and women that or whatever. I was like, no. I said, I don't want the title shouldn't say house and it shouldn't say anything with women. So he wound up calling it the Vibe Tribe, which I was like, okay, that I could work with. But you know, to me, yeah, it could be all women set, but you don't have to market it as all women, do you? And then why is it all women? I have issues.
Oh, let it out, girl. Let it out. Let it out. Let us know how you really feel. What advice would you give to women entering the DJ world, and how do you see the landscape changing?
Oh, it's already changed because unfortunately, women feel like they either have to dress sexy or, you know, show what you can, or dress odd or weird or dress up and get up there and freaking perform while you're playing. And I'm like, why? So that, and then I don't understand the concept of people standing in front of a DJ just watching them play with buttons and videotaping. To me, it's like nothing's really happening. Um, I I don't know. I think that women or people, period, be your authentic self. You know, don't if if you are a performer and you are a DJ and you get out there and perform, then that's one thing. That's what you do. But then, some people, I know it's not them, but I'll see them up there like doing their arms and doing the whole bit. I'm like, why? If your music's good enough, you don't need all that. So at my party, no one's standing up there videotaping Snow and I. No one, very rare. People might come grab a picture or two, but no one's standing there videotaping. But you do have the people that will come and just tape a party because they're there. Um, but yeah, mostly people have to sit and chill and vibing, listening, or they're dancing. And that's how it should be. Um, if women feel like they need a gimmick to make it big, then that I understand. Sometimes you need that to be able to market yourself, and people want to see something different and extraordinary. If that's what you feel you want to do, if you want to become that big of a DJ at this point, that might be what you have to do. For me, I'm like, I'm not striving to, reach any kind of heights in this. So if you come out and watch me play, you're just getting me standing there looking and smiling and, just doing my little bit of movement. And as soon as I'm done and snow gets on, I'm on the dance floor.
Let's talk about buying music. What motivates you to buy music, and how do you choose what to purchase?
Okay, that's a great question. So, well, one thing is I very rarely, if ever, buy vinyl anymore because what am I going to do with it? My son doesn't want it, I can tell. So I'm not collecting any more vinyl. So everything's pretty much digital. Um, I if I hear something, like there's a song that I played called "Break" by Go Penguin. I don't even know how I came about that song, but when I, plug that in and play it, then like I said before, I'll go and look to see, what's comparable to this, because you'll have that whole list of, if you like this, these are similar artists or similar songs. I'll go through that and whatever has a melody, not even a melody, music with changes. So it starts off slow, it speeds up, it goes up and down, in and out. That's the music I'm looking for. I don't want to something that's like I said, 125 beats all throughout with no change in it. Um, Definitely nothing with the same lyrics over and over. And I'm finding that a lot of this house music is repetitive in the sense that it's all starting to sound the same. So I'm listening to something that might be new, but it sounds like, five other songs that came before it, really. Um, so yeah, so really what I want is just music that's different, you know, different with changes.
Um, what have you learned about yourself through DJing?
Mm. Oh boy. I think I already know myself. I'm at that point in my life where I already know myself. So I don't think I've learned anything with the DJing. I mean, I guess maybe the only thing is that I'm not technical about it. A lot of times, Snow he'll have the sound effect thing, and he's showing me all these things you could do in the CDJs, and I'm like, okay, I don't do all that. And okay, I did learn that I'm organic about my music, meaning that I'll just play a song from beginning to end just the way it is, with no changes, no, I won't do like the high and lows things. If I do it, that's rare. But yeah, I just like to play music the way it is. So I did learn that about myself, and I'm not really going to do sound effects and stuff like that because that all comes from perspective of dancing. Because again, sometimes Snow does it well because he used to dance. So when he's doing those changes with the music, it works while I'm dancing. But other than that, I just let it play.
Legacy. What
Legacy?
Yeah, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave in the music world, and how do you want to be remembered?
Oh, I never even thought about anything like that. To me, it doesn't really matter if I'm remembered or not. Um, yeah, that's never been a thing for me. I'm just, just here now. Like my son always says, Mom, I'm just a boy in this world living. I'm just living in this world. And that's it. So what it is now. And then once I'm gone, really, I don't care because I'm dead.
Uh, and the last question, probably the most important, if someone wants to book you,
Hmm.
how do they get a hold of you? Hit you up on Instagram?
Um, okay. I'm not really good at checking
Or
Instagram.
what's the best way for people to, so
Um, if they know someone that knows me, reach out to me and get my name and number and call me or text me. Um,
perfect,
if
perfect,
not, you can maybe messenger me. I do check Messenger more than I check Instagram.
perfect.
Yeah.
Is there
Okay.
anything that I didn't ask that you wanted to talk about today?
Um, no, I think you hit all the points, all the good points.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. This is very nice.
Thank
And
you.
I know you're all the way in LA now. When you come to New York, you better call me.
Oh, for sure. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Take care. Good night.